You're welcome back. And of course, it's a Wednesday, which means it's time for us to bring you AM Biz. Now, the largest seed producing company in Ghana is the Legumes and Greens Development Board. Now, they're in Winneba, but they're currently producing below capacity because they are grappling with the high cost of electricity. Normally, they should be able to produce 25,000 bags per year. Now, the farmers are therefore calling for support from government as they bear the cost of seed production, which continues to grow.
It's been 5 days of stirring and drying these maize seeds in the blazing sun. As he patiently waits for his grains to dry, he's also on the lookout for any signs of rain.
It's a tedious work, actually.
As one of the requirements for these grains to pass the test of bean seeds, they have to dry till there's just 11% of moisture left in them. Jeremy Addison, who has been growing maize for over 30 years now, has to depend on the sun to dry his maize. Previously, he relied on the seed company to dry and store his seeds, but currently, he cannot afford.
Supposed to go on drying, but in view of the cost of drying, I decided to use the sun dry. But it takes a longer period to get it. Once I get a 12%, I can revamp it into the cleaning section. The difficult aspect is, the challenging aspect is, in case it rains right now, I will be in hot waters. So it's a risk taking. I'm only taking a risk and praying that it doesn't rain.
The Grains and Legumes Development Company in Winneba is the biggest seed processing center in Ghana. After it took over from the seed company in 1989, the company was doing very well in supporting farmers until government ordered for all public institutions to migrate from the postpaid to prepaid electricity meters in 2014. Farmers had to cater for the service charge of 5 cedis per 45 kilogram of maize. Farmers had to cater for the service charge of 5 cedi per 45 kilogram bag of maize. Now they have to bear the cost of electricity in addition to the service charge.
It will be a spare. So when some get spoiled, you can use the other.
Charles Opoku is the regional officer of the Grains and Legumes Development Board. He explains that the increase in cost of production has caused the factory to produce an average of 2,500 bags per season. This, he says, is about a tenth of the company's storage capacity.
But from the records that we have, we used to have about 30 seed producers, but now it has reduced to, let's say, 15, averagely 15, which are now in the business. And at times too, it may not depend on the number so much. It depends on the acreages they are able to plant. There can be few farmers, but planting large acreages.
As the largest seed producing company, this factory caters for the Ashanti, Western, Central and Greater Accra region. The 3 main seeds produced here are maize, beans and rice, the first being the most popular. Its role is to produce certified seeds by multiplying breeder seeds into foundation seeds. Then the farmers plant them, then bring them back for certification.
But when we put them on the conveyor will take it to the opening there. Then it will pass through the sheller and the seeds will go through the hoover onto the wagon. And the crops will pass through this another hoover out there. So that's the process. And as the seeds gets into the wagon, there will be someone inside the wagon with chemical at the back in the knapsack, which also spraying against insects.
The process of shelling, drying and testing fall under the service fee, which now stands at 8 cedis per 45 kilogram bag. This might seem as peanuts, but to the farmer who produces about 100 bags or more, it's a lot of money. However, this is the least of worries for the farmers. They are rather concerned about using the cold room. The cold room is meant for drying of seeds at a constant temperature, but is the most expensive process of all. The monthly cost of power per 5,000 bag capacity cold room is 5,000 cedis, meaning Storage per bag is 1 cedi. However, the lesser the number of bags, the more the cost per farmer.
And the importance of the cold room is that if it's not well stored, you lose all the produce, you lose all.
And how much does a farmer have to pay to get the services of the cold room?
The cold room, the monthly service is 3 cedis per bag per month. And we, the farmers, will also contribute to buy power, which costs 5,000 Ghana cedis per month. And so depending on the number of bags that we have in the cold room capacity can take 5,000 bags. So if you have 5,000 bags, cold room is full, then that means 1 bag, the cost of power is 1 cedi. If it is 2,005, then it's 2 cedis. When it comes down to 1,025, then it's double. And the reason why I said it's a very critical is that as we are taking the seeds out, the number will be reducing. So the cost, will be increasing per farmer. So to get to a time, you will see you can't break even, and it becomes very expensive operating the machine. So you have to put it off.
The cold room is not the only part of the facility that has been affected by the high cost of power. Erica Mwako is a seed analyst and the seed coordinator for the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate for the Western and Central region. Here, samples of the grains are tested for moisture and purity. For most of the machines to work, they require electricity. Until the farmer pre-finances his test, Eric would have to wait.
Things we have to do, there are equipment that I have to use, like you see the purity board needs light, the soil sterilizer needs light, and then the scales there need light, the micro scales. Because there is no light, we cannot use them. Logistics, like means of transport to get to the seed outlets, to do inspections, the growers' fields, to take samples and all that. We don't have means of transportation to pick those samples. We've just been supplied with some few sampling kits, but we still need more.
Most grains brought to the factory are from farms along the coastal savannah, which has relatively low rainfall and an unreliable rain pattern. Yields are usually affected as the farmers have to depend on rains for irrigation, eventually reducing the number of farmers who bring their grains to the factory. The reduction in numbers of farmers is not only affecting the Legumes and Grains Development Company financially, but also depriving some mothers of a decent income. Alice is one of the over 40 women who served as casual workers in the factory. More bags of maize would mean more work for them. However, the story has changed.
When the business was good, each woman could work on 5 bags a day, each for 4 cedis. We could number close to 40, but now it's just me, and all I can do is 1 bag.
Although the disqualified seeds become grains for consumption, farmers prefer to finish the process walking through with certified seeds, which sell at about 600% more than the grains. Imported seeds usually produce high yields. However, there is a huge demand for locally produced ones because they're cheaper in price.
The foreign seeds are quite expensive, considering what Wenko brought into the system some years ago. It was quite expensive as against our own local variety, yes. And then most farmers are well accustomed with the local variety than the foreign variety, even with the price differentials. You know, people prefer the Batampa variety.
The Legumes and Grains Development Company might not seem as a big earner for government, but can be a savior to many farmers and even support the national seed stock. Government bearing the cost of electricity for the farmers is out of question. Charles Opoku believes a switch to solar energy might be the solution to the company's power.
From experience I've gathered here, and my suggestion for seed industry, at least if government can have a cold room made of solar, or what we have we put on solar, or either subsidize the price for the cold room, or either pay for the cold room, because the cold room is the end for all our activity where we keep the maize.
And in supporting farmers, he believes more can be done.
If government can come in, help them in the land preparation, that's where, because you have to take advantage of the rains. So you have to prepare your land on time so that when the rains come, you can plant and your crop will not fail. At that time, if the farmer don't have money, he will not be able to prepare the land. So if government can help plow the land for the farmers, they will definitely plant at the right time and get the yields.
Some previous years, government do buy from us direct and then keep some as seed security, so that in case of any unforeseen situation, they will just take it from the grains board and off they go to supply. Yes. But for now, we don't have seed security, and that is quite dangerous. I hope that in future government will start to purchase stock of security.
Until government steps in to support these farmers, the story will remain the same. For Joy Business, Karen Dudu.